Hello, sports card collectors and investor friends. Thank you very much for joining me for another video today. Today is the big day, guys. We're either going to be choosing some new leadership or we're going to stay with some of the old leadership. However this thing goes, please remember that we live in an amazing country with amazing opportunities that a lot of folks around the world do not have. So however this thing goes for me, I'm just going to appreciate the life that I have and the opportunities that have been afforded me by being in this country. So anyway, let's go ahead and dig into the content. First off, if you have not subscribed yet, please do so. We have I think 300 videos on the channel now, all about investing, personal finance, alternative investments like sports cards and comic books and graded video games and graded action figures, all the fun stuff we try to incorporate here as far as collectibles and everything go, and it's been a blast. Been an absolute blast. If you want to join us on our social media accounts, I have them in the video description, all the the Instagrams and the Twitters, etc., etc. So please check us out there. I really like going back and forth with people on all these platforms. It is awesome. All right, guys, we're going to get into some really awesome hobby news this week that I think is just fun to talk about. And I am going to go off of some articles that were on sportscollectorsdaily.com. An awesome resource. I really enjoy kind of reading up on what they have and just offering my thoughts to some of these stories. First off, I wanted to bring attention to, there is a big YouTuber, Biahiza, I'm probably saying it wrong. I like this guy's channel because he kind of just talks about different ways to make money, whether it be online or in the real world, in the physical world. But he did actually make an episode recently on sports cards, and it's titled, I Tried Making Money with Sports Cards. He has, it looks like about 629,000 subscribers to his channel. And this one was really interesting because it was cool to see, I guess, an outsider's viewpoint on, trying to make money in sports cards. And a lot of what he talks about is a lot of what people are upset about within the hobby, what a lot of sports card collectors are not happy about. And it's essentially going to Walmarts and Targets, buying sealed wax, and then selling that sealed wax. And that's what a lot of kind of the video is about. He does also break a couple of basketball card boxes, and that was pretty cool, unboxing. But a lot of what he was talking about is buying those boxes, reselling them on the secondary market, what a lot of people do. And he also did mention, though, that he did make mention to people holding the boxes long term, or also holding the cards long term that are within the boxes. So he did kind of touch on different parts of sports card collecting and investing that we always talk about. So there's obviously many different versions, kind of many different ways to try to either make money or collect within the sports card hobby. Next, on Sports Card Daily, they do have the new product release calendar, and I just want to touch on a couple of these that that I thought that were interesting. I know that we're waiting on kind of the the prisms and the optics and some of the larger set releases, but there is a release for football coming up, Illusions Football, which it kind of makes me think of Origins, to some degree, in the sense that the cards are beautiful. You do get a lot of mem cards, there's autos, there's a lot of different things. But as far as resale value goes, these sets have historically not been as popular. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about, Illusions Football or Origins Football. Have you been buying those? I mean, I love, if we're talking about Origins Football, they're on-card autos. Those cards are beautiful cards. So if you're a collector, I mean, Origins Football, definitely check those out if you haven't already. And they go back a few years too. I mean, check out previous years, because those are incredible looking cards, and you can get them at a discount in comparison to Prism and Optic and some of the more popular sets like Select. But Illusions drops, it looks like November 11th is when hobby boxes are available. It looks like they're available for pre-order right around $350. It's 10 packs with 5 cards in it, so you're looking at 50 cards for $350. And I'm just curious, do those hold value? I mean, do those stay at $350, or do they come off of that price once they're released? Are they going to sell out, at $350, or will they, come down in price? Just interested to watch those. I think I'm gonna hold on buying them. I typically buy singles anyway, but I'm just curious on your thoughts too. In the description, or excuse me, in the comments, please comment if this is a set that you're looking at, whether it be collecting, investing, etc. I'm just curious to hear your thoughts. And then we also have, just in a few days, we've got Prism Draft Picks Basketball that's coming out. is anybody going to buy these? You know, and I'm asking viewership. I learn a lot from viewership. Historically, draft picks, basketball or football or anything, they have a short window to be able to buy and sell them. As far as if you're looking to try to, you know, to flip or make money on those products, you typically have a short window. I'm curious to see if that's any different this year, just because Prism Basketball, you have such a huge break between this product and Prism Basketball coming out in what, March? So does this, you know, hold value? Does it gain steam just because there's just not another product out there? I do know that, you know, there's going to be other basketball products. There's a Hoops Premium product that's coming out. There's just so many, but that's for 19. So that's for last year's draft class. That's going to be Ja Morant and Zion stuff in there. Tyler Hero in that Hoops Premium product that also comes out on the same day as the Illusions football on the 11th of November. You know, so I'm just kind of curious. Are you guys buying those, you know, those boxes, or are you just going to kind of, you know, hold off on new product because it all just seems very expensive? I'm probably going to hold on all of it and just see what happens. Just kind of watch the market and see what happens as far as the singles go and everything else. I also wanted to talk about, this is a really cool story that was also, it's on Sportscard Collectors Daily website, and I love following these that they post, and it's basically like found collections, and a lot of it's vintage cards. There's so many different, you know, so many different stories on junk wax era, finding stuff like, oh, I've got 5,000 cards for sale, and everyone's trying to sell that stuff that was mass produced. So it is kind of fun to hear about like really rare stuff that is found. And this is a lady that's in Florida that essentially is an artist. She's a creative person and she's a collector. So she's buying and selling. I don't know if she got these at a garage sale, where she found them. But she bought these about a decade ago, and I don't believe it states like how much she bought them for, or any of that, but I think it was just kind of like, you know, kind of like a garage sailing type environment or something like that. It didn't sound like she won them at auction or something like that. It was more of just, and they were in like a Ziploc bag. Like a Ziploc bag of these cards, and these are cards from the early 1900s. You're talking about like a Babe Ruth Sporting News rookie card was in this bag of cards, and believe it or not, that Babe Ruth Sporting News, it graded out at an SGC 4. And SGC, they're a great grader for, especially for vintage, and they are not easy on vintage cards when grading. And so it's kind of amazing that they stayed in that good of a condition, just basically in like a bag. And this lady was talking about actually taking these cards, because she's an artist, and gluing them to a canvas or gluing them and making them as part of an art piece. Can you imagine if these cards were found on these, you know, with glue on them, essentially on an art piece? Thankfully, she did not do that. She did, I think it was a neighbor or it was a friend that knew a little bit more about sports cards. She went to him, and he got all excited about it. And these cards are going to Heritage Auction on the 19th of November. So I think she did have either some or all of them graded out, and now they're going to Heritage. And so she's looking to cash in on this big collectible, this collection that she got a hold of. It's an amazing story. You just don't hear stuff like that often, and because they're extremely rare cards. And lastly in the news, we had a Honus Wagner PSA 1. Another one just sold for $1.4 million here recently. Now, just 2 weeks ago, this card sold for another PSA 1, not the same card, a different one, I believe, sold for $1.169 million. So $1,169,000, I believe, is where that one sat. So you're looking at another few $100,000 on a PSA 1 Honus Wagner that just recently sold, and this one was just 8 weeks ago is where that sold, believe it or not. So unbelievable. Of course, it's probably the most sought after baseball card. It is the most sought after baseball card in existence. I think there's less than 50 known in existence, and then you have, you know, only a few that are graded out, and then where did they grade, etc. So this is at the very, very high end of the market, but just amazing to see those prices continue to just churn upward on the very high end sports card market. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. I like to mix it up with everybody in the comments. You know that. I like to have, you know, really open discussion with my viewership. And we're building a community here, guys. So if you have not subscribed yet, like I said, let's just jump on the bandwagon. We're coming out with daily videos, and we will keep them coming. Thanks for joining.